Hi, this is going to be a change of pace. I'm going to recite a little poetry. This first poem is called The Ambitious Guitarist. I wrote it many years ago in the hippie days when I was performing in all the coffee houses in Boston. And I played classical guitar, and in between I would sing certain songs. But I never got as popular in that coffee house scene, although I did become very well known in Boston after a while doing concerts. But I wanted to become known in the coffee house scene, but I couldn't make it. Yet I couldn't understand it because all these other guitarists that did folk music, they only played 3 or 4 chords. So I got mad one day and wrote this poem. It's called The Ambitious Guitarist. It's really a satire. As I was relaxing one fine afternoon, caressing the curves of a classic guitar, just dreaming and wishing for a day mighty soon when I learned the scales and became a big star. Along came a fellow, a shrewd one was he, with a sign of the dollar he quickly blessed me, and using big words like man, hip, and dig, said, "Man, you're the greatest, but you need a wig." "A Beatle I ain't, sir, so please don't knock. I'd rather keep playing Sebastian Bach." He asked for a tune like the big rockers do, so I sang for him the only one I knew. He flipped and he jumped and he said I was good. With a little exposing I'll go Hollywood. He promised me glory and chicks in my pad, a Vesper and a Honda and a bank full of bread. With all these enticements, I couldn't see the truth, so I went for advice to my old Auntie Ruth. She said I was nuts if I didn't take the dough. You gotta be part of the system, you know. In the local barroom, my training I did, and like all the rockers, I soon flipped my lid. And confused and ethnic, I was still not in, 'cause with all my scales, I couldn't make the scene. So, sad and despondent, I did become ill. "Like man," said my agent, "go swallow the pill." He promised me diamonds and lights in the sky with cosmic consciousness if I just got high. I swallowed a cube, just expecting to see the cosmos, the heavens, the essence of me. But soon all I saw was a bunch of old rags encircled above my Aunt Ruth's open legs. Her looks were as cold as an old witch's tit. Her greed and her false pride stunk from her armpits. Her panties were dirty. She peed standing up. I had had enough and began throwing up. The trip was just ending when a big little boy came over to me and gave me a strange toy. The toy was a demon with face, oh so mean. It screamed in my ear, "Get out of the scene." I asked the boy what he thought I should do. He smiled and chanted, "Go on back to you." And so, my dear friends, the moral is clear. Don't depend on others to get off your rear. Stay away from fads and do your own thing. Don't join the chorus if you cannot sing. So I'm back on the curves of a classic guitar, 'cause now I know that each one is a star. So, some things I ain't, my friends, so please don't knock. I'd rather keep playing Sebastian Bach. Someday by and by, when I'm in a good mood, I'll master the scales and go Hollywood. Here's one in a more serious vein. I really like this poem. And this was written and dedicated for the great singer Andrea Bocelli. In fact, he had it on his website for a while. It's called To the Blind. Though the light of your eye is extinguished, and the dawn no longer smiles at your gaze, in the dark silence of the mind you discover self, that purity of understanding, that flows forth song, poetry, and prose, that help me transcend the lies that daily my eyes apprehend. Though that defunct sense is now oblivion, and the verdure of the meadows is unseen, the other senses concertized on the stage of self, native intelligence manifest, that lights the path to the lame and weak, and lifts my spirits in love, that I may be humble but strong. Dedicated to Andrea Bocelli. Okay, this is a satire about modern artists. Canvases of Campbell soup cans stare at me from walls claiming fame, through a pungent, grassy smoke cloud, filling a now arthritic gallery that weeps on convulsions of longing for times gone by, when art was the epitome of romance, and its artists kissed with abandonment underneath their canvases while leaning on those same innocent walls. Presently, the soup cans seem to laugh in mockery at their creators, the can artists. Con artists. Can artists, who sit behind their paintings engrossed in intellectualization, hallucinated from fumes of leaves of grass, Mr. Walt Whitman, and the stale brew of Budweiser, while sprawled amidst empty cans everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Mr. Richard Dana. They speak. Fuck, man. Did you really put sperm in that soup can? Not in the can, rubberhead. In the paint. Guaranteed it'll sell. Wow. This shit is good, man. Fuck. Yeah, man. Fuck. Don't change this subject. According to the psychosexual writings of Crowley, Frada U.D., and Culling, the human, what? Crawling uterus devices for cunnilingus? Cut the crap. Like I was saying, man, the human sperm and blood contain the primum ens, the Ilian Vital, the alchemist's secret, Reich's orgone, Mesmer's magnetism, the elixir of life of St. Teresa's menstruum, and the 904 A.D. Pope's divine ejaculations on virginal boys, which, when mixed in the paint and kept for a fortnight in the gentle heat of the cucurbit of Madonna's anus, will, no doubt, bring about a new school of art, con art. Wow, like wow. What kind of shit are you tripping on? Canvases of Campbell soup cans, now ashamed of their existence, joined the walls in choir-like weeping, their tears blurring the fresh paint of recent acquisitions, as if waiting to melt the tragedy of time. Mr. Salvador Dali. The walls are now a torrent of hallucinogenic undulations in rainbow spectrums of sperm and blood from intellectual derelicts. From the far corner of the opposite wall, an aging portrait of Enrico Caruso protests in operatic crescendo. Excuse me, Mr. Caruso, where is the law of the arts? Well, you gotta have a bigger memory, a bigger chest, and a bigger heart. Wow, man. That's like cool. Can you explain that, Mr. Kenyon Fox? Yes, of course. The one essential prerequisite to the production of great work of art is a great man. Yeah. Can you explain that, Mr. Magno? You suck.